Hey everybody, Chuck Barone, Thursday, April the 27th, 2023. Huge day, big data. Before we get into all the fun and games, I just want to welcome everybody to the show. Thank you for your participation, for watching the video, supporting the show, your questions, your likes, your sharing the videos with your friends. Guys, it's really helping the channel hang in there. We appreciate you guys. Let's get right into this market today because it was a wild one. Okay, first thing in the morning we get GDP numbers. They're not so great. Market looks like it's not going to be so great. Earnings come. Wow, market blasts off. Everybody kind of happy, I guess, that we kind of now know we're going to have this recession. So the market goes bananas. Huge rally in the market today. Dow Jones up 524 points, 33,826 on the index. The S&P rallies 79 points, 4,135 on that index, and the Nasdaq up 287 points, 12,142. Great day for the stock market. I tell you this, guys, enjoy it while you can, because this is not going to last, okay? It just isn't. Bond market yields up today pretty good. The 10-year jumps 10 basis points, 3.57%. The 2-year jumps 15 basis points, 4.08%. Markets know now this Fed rate hike next week is pretty much a sure thing. We know the Fed's been trying to squeeze the life out of this economy with these rate hikes. Looks like they're having their way. Bond yields adjusting accordingly. So if you're owning bonds, today's not a great day because the value of those bonds going down. But if you're buying bonds, not a bad day. The yields on those bonds going up. Dollar today, not much happening in the dollar at all. Up very, very small, 10, not even 1 basis point, 1/10 of 1 basis point. 101.49 on the index, basically running in place. Metals today down, gold down, silver down. Not much though, very small moves in the market today in gold and silver. Gold down $1.30, $1,987.50 per ounce. Silver down just 2 cents, $24.90 per ounce. These are still really good numbers for gold and silver, man. They're holding their spot. We know there's going to be some resistance breaking through $2,000 for gold and $25 for silver. We know there's going to be some resistance there, and there has been. But the idea that they can hang when the market's gyrating all over the place, the dollar holding up strong, not typically good for gold, not good for silver. Holding these prices right near that resistance is a great sign. I'm telling you guys, it's going to break through. Gold and silver got a ways to go on this. I don't know if I would call it a bull market, but at least a bull run. I think there's still a ways to upside gold and silver. Oil today, well, up very small, up 2 cents per barrel, $74.78 per barrel, right where we kind of been telling you guys is the sweet spot for oil, typically between 75 and 80. Now it looks like 75 is going to become resistance for oil, so maybe the 70 to 75 trough is more accurate nowadays, but nonetheless, oil really hasn't done much. We get these short spikes when OPEC or Russia or some geopolitical issue happens. It spikes up, but it comes right back down. And I'm telling you right now, this economy is due for this recession. All this data we're going to go over here in a minute is going to tell you why. If that is the case and we get this recession this year, and they're talking mild, I'm telling you right now it won't be. Oil prices will come down from here for sure. Bitcoin today, a good day for Bitcoin, jumped $1,088 per Bitcoin, $29,619. Looks like it's ready to make another run at resistance at 30,000. Bitcoin showing strength, man. Love it or hate it. Truth is what it is. These numbers look really strong. The chart looks really strong. It had a nice bounce. Let's see where it goes. I think Bitcoin might have a ways to go to the upside as well. Now, the news you guys need today, there's a lot, guys. So let's get right into it. GDP. Okay, we knew that report was coming today. We had a rough idea because the Atlanta GDP Now tracker was telling us first quarter GDP was going to be 1.8%. And Atlanta GDP Now has been pretty accurate. Okay. Experts believe in GDP would be even better than that. Experts believed it would come in at 2%. So the market looking like it's going along okay. We get the number today, comes in at 1.1%. A huge disappointment. The market, nonetheless, reacting with it came in great news for the economy. GDP not looking good. Adding it up, okay, all of the stuff we've been talking about this week, all of the signs pointing to recession. Here's another big one, guys, okay? We know the Fed wants this recession. They're going to continue to raise rates until they get this recession. Now it looks like they're going to have their way. So GDP coming down, and before we know it, we'll get that negative GDP a couple quarters in a row, which will be the big warning that we're here or the recession is imminent. Now, we did get that last year, and the recession didn't materialize. I guess we're going to get a double, right, before this one does. But we'll see. I mean, things do not look very good for the economy right now. They just don't. The PCE, now we know that number is coming tomorrow, but the core number leaking out today, core PCE, now this is the purchasing personal consumer expenditure index. This is the one the Fed prefers rather than the CPI, PPI that we all use. The core number, comes in today 4.9% on the core. So this takes out food and energy, which are the wild ones, right? So that means inflation staying sticky high. Now last month, PCE spooked them at 4.7. So this month coming in even worse. This pretty much, I mean, I've really been telling you guys and believe that this quarter point next week was pretty much a sure thing, pretty much already priced into the market. Well, now I pretty much would raise that, unless something calamitous happens, I would raise that to pretty much 100%. We're going to get a quarter point, and now they're going to talk, then the conversation is going to move from how much will they raise to are they going to have a pause? We'll be back to that conversation. And then, of course, once the economy makes the turn, you're going to hear the clamor for rate cuts, right? I don't know if the Fed can cut rates with 4.9 core PCE. Not great news. The Fed really in a pickle. You know, Powell and the governors of the Federal Reserve coming to their Hobson's choice moment, man. You know, they're going to have to decide. Do we want to raise rates to bring inflation down, which is the number one mandate of the Federal Reserve, a stable dollar, stable prices? Or do we want to sacrifice that, start to reduce rates to bring the economy back? And it's just a choice where no matter what you do, you lose. Because even rate cuts certainly don't mean that the economy is going to come rip-roaring out of a recession really fast. And it does mean that inflation is going to just go higher, especially when the market starts to feel like that's the Fed's at the end of their rate hike cycle. If inflation is not where it needs to be, it's going to spike. We saw this throughout the 70s when the Fed stopped raising rates. They stopped raising, they started cutting because of the pressure of the economy, and everything spiked right back up, and even higher in most cases. Now, Paul Volcker came in, and he just said, screw it. He raised rates as high as he had to, economy be damned, to knock inflation out, and managed to accomplish it. Now, the price was a pretty steep recession. You're talking 10% unemployment, higher than. You're talking 10% inflation, higher than. It was really, really rough back then, but Volcker had the balls to do what he had to do. We're going to see if Powell does. It's a different political world we're living in right now. Powell does not seem to me like the kind of guy that's got the same kind of, made of the same stuff as a guy like Volcker was. So it's going to be fascinating to watch it. But the bad news for us guys is, you know, we're going to be faced with one of the other is going to happen, or probably most likely both, where we're going to be stuck with a crappy economy and still rising inflation. They coined a phrase for that back in the 70s. They called it stagflation, and I got a feeling we might get another taste of that in the 2020s. Unemployment claims today. Now, this was the only good news for the economy. Claims falling 16,000 to 230K this week. They were expecting 248K. This tells us this is still a strong number for jobs. So jobs are still out there. Maybe not so much as they were, where they had 2 jobs for every person looking, but the job market's still strong. People not needing to file for unemployment. That's funny because we were just talking yesterday on the show about how more people with incomes above 200K a year were filing for unemployment than ever before. So this is interesting. I guess the $10 drones, the $8 an hour, $9 an hour, $10 an hour drones are the ones not getting fired, and the people making any real money are, right? Pending home sales, another big indicator of the economy. Boom, right off the cliff, falling 5.2% from last year. Even a little bit of relief on prices and interest rates, not enough to get homes going. Big problem with inventory on existing houses. People that own houses don't want to sell them, don't want to hear about 6 or 7% interest rates when they're sitting at 2s and 3s. So real estate in a big slump. Now you add all this together, what we talked about with yesterday. Okay, now you add in GDP coming down pretty dramatically. You add in inflation still rising. You add in real estate still in the crapper. Retail sales coming down. Consumers tapped out. Maxing out credit. Credit crunch coming. Credit going to be harder to get. So just every single little thing we've been talking about, except the unemployment rate, pointing toward a slowdown in the economy or a recession. And to finish it up today, I got to say, guys, I've been finding these, as I've been researching every day to do the show. I find these stupid social articles that I've been bringing to your attention. I talked about the Google CEO and his $226 million pay. I talked about the crazy CEO who stiffed all of her employees and didn't give out employee bonuses, but took $1.5 million bonus for herself. I talked a whole bunch of, Biden's retarded new plan for let's subsidize really crappy borrowers by charging the really good borrowers more. Ordinarily, in a normal world, it would be the opposite. The crappy borrower would pay higher fees and higher rates because of higher risk. The good borrower would pay less fees, less rate because of lower risk. Now we're going to turn the whole world upside down to satisfy these retarded-ass politicians. But this one really was disappointing to me today. These guys fighting over the education of our children, how we're going to do it, trying in every possible way to dumb down education for kids. Kids graduating from school, they can barely do simple math, they can barely do reading. They're trying to, they get to the community college, which is certainly not a big leap. It's not going from high school to Harvard, that's for sure. And they need to take remedial courses in reading and math and very simple basic stuff. Well, here's the newest one, guys. Now the schools have decided that they're going to ditch homework, deadlines, and responsibility for what they're calling, get this one now, guys, equitable grading. Okay? So this is great. I need my peepers for this. They decided that, because some children have difficulty after school, their parents are not hands-on like some parents are, that they need to help these kids by changing the system to make it easier for them to pass. At the same time, penalizing the kids who really want to study and learn, because it's going to make it easier for them to pass too, and they're going to learn they don't have to work as hard to get where they want to go, right? So listen to this stuff. Homework will be played down, so they're basically going to eliminate homework for these kids. No penalties for bad behavior, because, bad behavior could bias the grade. If a kid's a big troublemaker in class and he's not doing his homework and he's, just a big pain, that could bias you to fail him because, well, he failed. How about that? Okay? Students now will be given multiple opportunities to take tests. So you flunked the first time, here, take it again. Flunked again, keep taking it till you pass. They're going to get multiple opportunities to complete assignments. So you're not a responsible kid, you're not learning responsibility, you're not learning that when the teacher says the homework is due on Friday, it's due on Friday. Now they're going to give these kids multiple opportunities to even complete assignments. They're complaining that the traditional method, you have to actually do your homework and turn it in, you actually have to be able to pass a test and show you're proficient. That method favors kids with a stable home life and kids with parents who are involved in their children's education. So now they're going to ban extra credit for the kids who do extra. The grading will start at 50%. So even if you didn't show up or do anything, you get a 50. So how much harder is it to get from 50 to 65 where you pass? Okay? I mean, if we want to find a way to ruin our kids, this is a great start here, guys. We're going to teach our kids that they don't need to be responsible and they don't have to worry about any of this stuff because some government, they're going to change the rules for them to make it easy so they can pretend they passed. This is like the participation trophy for education. Further sign of the apocalypse, guys. It just keeps getting crazier. Now, before I wrap up, I just want to say I'm sorry. I will not be able to put a video out tomorrow. I got some complications in my life. Nothing bad. Just some commitments I had to make that will keep me out of the office all day. So I will not have a video up tomorrow. There's a ton of stuff coming, guys. So stay on top of this market. I'll be back on Monday to catch everybody up. Have an awesome, super great weekend. I wish I could say I was going to, but it's unlikely. Even though I love my weekends, as you guys know. But we'll be back on Monday to bring you guys the news you need. It's going to be a big finish of the month next weekend. We know we got rate hikes coming. Big, big, big stuff coming. We'll be here to bring you every little detail. One last thing before I go. If you guys could do me a favor today, if you watch to the very end here, hit the like button at the end, would you? It really helps the algorithms. It helps our videos get out to more people so there's more opportunity for the videos to be seen. If you watch the video, you could hit the like button at the end. We would appreciate it. See you guys on Monday. Have a super awesome weekend. NFL draft tonight, baby. We're going to see who the Bills get and everybody else. Until Monday, guys, take care. Thanks.